Hello, everyone. I would like to say it's finished. Um, as far as I want to take it, I believe that if I mess with it anymore at this point, that the paper will start to degrade, and I found that in some spots already because bamboo paper is very fragile, is very thin. It's not like other sketchbooks that use say like a softwood pulp to turn it into paper. This is the very first Hornet that I've done in far beyond immediate recall, immediate memory recall. So this is something special, and I was thinking about this in the fall. Which of these photos that were taken um, about the exercise uh, for the RCAF, in which I think it was Baggetville. I'll look this up again because there's only two fighter wings in Canada. There's Cold Lake and there's Baggetville. So I have a 50% chance of being correct here. And then of course there was the Air Transport Squadron in support with the C-130. So that's really cool to see a C-130 go through the Mach loop. And perhaps one day, with the help of some friends, I might actually be able to go to the Mach loop myself in Wales and see it in person. Now, I think it's really cool to establish a rapport with government agencies. If especially if you have some sort of past relationship with them. Um, I myself, I'm going to mention cadets here. I was an air cadet here in Canada for 7 years. So I describe cadets as a military apprenticeship. And that's how it should be described. That's how the program should be. It gives people opportunities that they might not otherwise have in their lives. And there's a lot of companies out there that give preference to either veterans or to cadets. And I think that's the way that things should stay because honestly, we worked for it. Whether you like it or not, we worked for it. So if you have a different opinion than that and you want things to be your way, suck my dick, frankly. Suck my dick. That's how I feel about it. You didn't sleep on a military base. You didn't do drill. You didn't hold a rifle in your hand. So suck my dick. That's the end of my sentiment for that. Moving on from this, I picked this particular photo because it was a very ornate design for the paint scheme. And it wasn't easy. I didn't want it to be easy. I think it's a very good representation of the original source photography. And I hope the photographer, again, this is here, G Price photographs. I hope that he gets to see this one day. Maybe it'll pop up in his Facebook feed. Um, but this would have been impossible without a photographer being there, right? So this is a collaboration between me and this photographer. What can I say about collaboration in that it is a and it is what's it? It is a virtue of military ethos, and it's not something that I eschewed or that I went astray from in my life. It's just that I chose a different path, and I had something to prove. I still have something to prove. I have a bone to pick with some people, and for legitimate reasons that I won't get into with this video, because I want this video to be about this drawing, and not about what I've been through as a person. So of course, there's a very big difference between someone who's legitimately mentally ill, and someone that's batshit crazy, right? There's a big difference between those two things, and if you can't tell the difference, then you're not going to survive in the new era, or the post information era, if I'm going to coin it that. Or obviously someone has called it something far better. So I got to tell you, okay, a mentally unstable person would not have the discipline and the patience to do something like this. No fucking way. I'm telling you. So to be a fighter pilot, in my mind, takes the same amount of patience and discipline, because it's far more difficult than you think it is. And these guys, they get all the fanfare, right? They get all the glitz and the glamour, but they have to do a seriously hard job, and it involves a serious amount of risk, which has fatal consequences, with split second, again, split second consequences to those decisions. And that's what I admired when I was young, and that's what motivated me towards that kind of life, or that kind of mentality, or doctrine, so to speak. And so I was, in my young years, I was drawing Hornets all the time. I've referenced this in other videos too, or I've shown them. I've shown the Hornets that I was drawing. They're mostly Canadian Hornets, or like other jets. Um, and now that the Cairo, or the CIA, has done me a kindness, in that I tagged them, and then they responded with a video of an F-15 Eagle. I think it's a Strike Eagle, going through the Mach loop. That's what's going to happen next. And I have another one to do. I think after the Eagle, because the Eagle preceded the F-18 and the Gripen and any of these other aircraft. This begrudgingly, I have to admit, the track record for the F-15 Eagle is phenomenal, and it is unparalleled. It has such a prestige and a legacy behind it, and that's why it's still flying. Because in some degree, I will say this without hyperbole, the F-15 is irreplaceable. It set the bar for fourth generation fighters. It really did. And I say these things with some humility, because it's not just about the drafting table. It's about the people that use them. And that's what I'm getting at. So thank you for tuning into this little art talk here about this stupid drawing of an F-18. Particularly, I think this was one of the Australian F-18s that Canada bought a couple of years ago. And if I'm going to talk about other references before I get to 10 minutes, I'm going to say like Monet, right? Because when Monet was getting cataracts, things started getting blurry and hazy, and that's what I see in this, and I think that's really cool. It's not just a drawing. I wanted it to be like something that's, maybe a child could do, but probably a savant. A savant could do this. A normal child, a regular child, in my mind, could not do this. And that's all I have to say today. Stay young, okay? Thank you.